The following video course contains the use of sharp knives. If attempting at home, personal protective equipment such as cut-resistant gloves, sleeves, and aprons are highly recommended. The rib end section closest to the center loin is perfect for making tender pork cutlets or breaded pork schnitzel. Start by locating the seam where the fat cap meets the main muscle as shown on screen. Using one hand, gently pull away the muscle while carefully slicing any connective tissue with your knife. Continue this process until the two pieces are fully separated, making a clean, straight cut to remove the fat cap, and then set it aside for later use in sausage or grinding, ensuring minimal waste and maximizing the value of each cut. Since this is the rib end section, you may notice some additional meat attached to the muscle. Be sure to trim it off. Alright meat nerds, this next step requires some skill and precision. Using the tip of your knife, make an incision at the corner of the loin, keeping your entry point as close to the outer tissue as possible. Now it's time to remove the outer layer of the connective tissue. With your knife angled upward, grip the tissue firmly with the other hand and gently pull up while guiding your knife along the top of the membrane. Maintain an upward slicing motion, cutting cleanly along the roof of the membrane as demonstrated here on screen. The goal here is to leave as much meat on the loin than on the outer tissue. Let your knife do the work here, gliding smoothly to avoid cutting into the main muscle. This will prevent gouging or slicing into the loin, ensuring a clean finish. It takes practice, but once you master this technique, you'll find it useful for other tasks. With the membrane removed, carefully trim away any remaining tissue, paying close attention to any stubborn bits clinging to the surface. The goal here is to leave the loin completely free of fat and connective tissue, ensuring a smooth, uniform texture. This step is crucial for achieving a tender final product, as any leftover sinew can result in a chewy bite. Take your time and use precision cuts to clean up the loin. Flip over and continue on the other side. Meat left on the membrane of the inner side of the loin can be used for sausage, as it's not as dense as the outer tissue. Just make sure you do your best to separate the meat from the membrane using precise knife work to avoid waste. Trim carefully. Before we start slicing, trim off any meat from the top portion of the membrane left behind. This will allow for a better yield with no waste, ensuring we make the most of every part of the loin. All trimmings can be ground or chopped for our sausage, adding valuable flavor and texture. This extra step not only improves efficiency, but also enhances the quality both of the loin and the sausage. Now it's time for our final step, where everything we worked so hard for all comes together. I'll be demonstrating a technique that can be a bit risky, so make sure your steel mesh glove is on. With your knife at a slight angle, take the first slice, cutting with the grain on the long side of the loin to square it up. Continue with the same motion, slicing with the top portion of the steak knife and cutting down like this. You can keep slicing until you can't slice anymore, or slice as many as you need. These slices are perfect for breading and pan frying, setting the stage for a fantastic schnitzel night. Since I'm making sausage and have a bit of fat, I'll be adding this to my trim pile for one of my favorite sausage blends. And there we have it, beautiful, evenly cut pork cutlets, perfectly prepared and ready for cooking. With the right amount of care and precision, these cutlets are now primed for any recipe you have in mind, whether it's a quick pan fry, schnitzel, or other delicious dish. These perfectly trimmed cutlets ensure a tender, flavorful outcome every time. For an even more polished presentation, trim the ends of the cutlets so that they're all the same size. I personally prefer having clean, symmetrical cuts for a more professional look. Come.